to each one of you, and welcome to this evening's satsang. It's a joy to be with you all in person. My name is Meenakshi, and I greet you all from the Suriname Hindu Tamil Sangam. I dedicate this talk to my many spiritual teachers, my guru, who have enriched my appreciation and love for the Ramayana. And I indeed seek the blessings today of my parents. This talk is from my book that I'm about to publish, titled Inspiration from the Ramayana, Navigating Life and Relationship. So I speak today based on the Ramayana, and I speak on the theme of relationship within relationship, the theme of betrayal. When people betray us, how do we respond to that? Broadly, I will talk about 3 case studies from the Ramayana, and we will look at the dynamics within that. So there are 3 places where somebody felt betrayed in the Ramayana. And you know, it's quite revealing in psychology that often when A feels betrayed by B, A perceives themselves as right and B as wrong. Interestingly, B also feel betrayed by A and B feel as if though B is right. Sometimes in life, situations are such that it's almost impossible to resolve, but we will still try to see what causes things in life and in relationship to go downhill. So the 3 incidents I will talk about are Kaikeyi and Dasarath, then Vali and Sugriv, and then Ravan and Vibhishana. These stories explore a deeper philosophical and ethical question, such as how do we respond when somebody we trust have betrayed us? And then the consequences of betrayal on personal and society level. And then the importance of forgiveness and reconciliation. What is our role of dharma, duty, and righteousness in handling betrayal? So in life, we will come across people who will betray us, are not people who are far away from us, not people who are our distant friend or relative, but betrayal comes from people that are very close to you, people that you have daily interactions with. And betrayal is a very intense emotion, and it's only when we trust somebody completely who comes close to us and then they turn against us that we feel betrayed. Sometimes what happens is that we're friends, we're family, and we expect a certain kind of compliment, a certain type of tap on our shoulder. But what happens instead, we get a slap in the face, and we get hurt, and we get betrayed by that person. And this emotion leads to one thing after another. So how do we react when in life, in relationship? This is a constant emotion, a very strong emotion that we see that will take place in our life daily, and how do we react? And the Ramayana give us an example of how to deal with situations like this. So let's look at the first incident in the Ramayana. The first incident in the Ramayana is that Sri Ram, of course, is to be enthroned as the king. Ram is the eldest among the 4 brothers, and he is the noblest, and he is expected to become king. There is a principle in India called Pramochan. So Dasarath accordingly decided that, of course, Ram will be king. That's the tradition. And somehow, because Kaikeyi was his favorite queen, she expected a certain special entitlement. She expected that because I'm his favorite queen, I'm going to be entitled certain things. I am going, whatever I say, Dasratha is going to, of course, have to agree with me because I am his favorite. So we see now that sometimes in family relationships, in family dynamics, sometimes we may be the favorite child, sometimes we may be sister, brother, friends, we're loved. But then also, what will that do? That will now give us these feelings of, okay, well, I have a certain entitlement, so that makes me feel like, I can do no wrong, I can do no harm because my consciousness has gone to that level. So Kaikeyi had that exact feeling. So there was an expectation. So when Dasharatha made the announcement that, oh, I'm going to make Ram, he's going to be king, she expected that, this can happen because Bharat should be king. Bharat should be crowned king because I am Dasharatha's favorite wife. So what that means is that Bharata should become king. So now when Kaikeyi went to Dasharatha and she will ask now, we all know this story, of course. She will ask from Dasharatha, oh, I had my bridesmaid boon that you had promised me, and now I want to achieve those boon. So Dasharatha is a man, of course, that he stands by his words. So what happens is that Dasharatha is now thinking, oh, how can my own family member betray me like this? Such a boon, such a big man. So he felt betrayed by Kaikeyi, and of course Kaikeyi feels betrayed by him. So this is how we feel betrayed in life. This is how we feel hurt in life, because there's a conception in our mind that keeps going on that, I'm entitled, so my relatives or my husband, my wife, my children, or if I am the child, I have certain things that I should be achieving, and if I'm not, then they're betraying me. And Dasharatha also felt betrayed by Kaikeyi because Manthara further exploited her mind. She created the disinformation for Kaikeyi. So, they say you can talk big things, but you should walk the talk. Or you've heard the saying, put your money where your word is. So Dasharatha, of course, has shown many affection to Kaikeyi, but then he has chosen Kaushalya's son, and Manthara made her feel that she was being betrayed. So that's why in life, they say when you're happy, don't make promises. And when you're sad, don't say things you will regret. Of course, we know that Kaikeyi asked Dasharatha for the two boons, her bride's gift, and now Dasharatha felt betrayed, and the whole recap is there on this story. So we will look into the second incident, and then we will look on all these incidents objectively. So the second incident is Vali and Sugriv. We all know in Kiskindakan, in the Ramayana, we all know that Vali and Sugriv, they were the best of brothers, the best of friends. Nobody can get into them. But what happened is that we all know that this demon came, and both Vali and Sugriv had to conquer the demon. So what happened is that Vali went into the cave to fight the demon, and he wasn't coming. So then what happened? Sugriv heard this loud roar of the demon, and then he's thinking now, Sugriv is thinking now, oh, so what happened? My brother is killed by this demon Rakshasa. So now I have to protect the kingdom, I have to protect his Kindakan. So what he did, he took this big rock and he blocked the cave. So years has passed, Sugriv went back to the kingdom, Sugriv was crowned king, Sugriv was living as if he is Vali, and many years, he was running the kingdom, everything was proceeding normally, Vali's family was living as his family. So then, after some times, Vali was able to come out of this cave. He found some exit way and he was able to come out of this cave. So when Vali came out of this cave, what happened is that he went back to his kingdom. So when he went back to his kingdom, of course, the gossip will spread, and the kingsmen will say things. So what happened is that Vali learned that Sugriva had put the rock by the cave. And Vali started thinking, now all this disinformation is going on. Oh, my brother wanted my kingdom, he wanted my wife, so that's why he did what he did. And he wanted to become king, so that's why my brother stole my kingdom. So Vali, without asking Sugriv any question, he started pounding on Sugriv. He started beating and pounding on Sugriv. So what happened? There was no communication. So, you know, in life, oftentimes we talk about each other. We don't talk to each other. So there was a big misunderstanding here between Vali and Sugriv. But Vali did not think that I need to speak to Sugriv. So what happened? After Vali was pounding on Sugriv, Sugriv ran away. So after he ran away, what happened? Vali is thinking, oh, he must be guilty. He wanted my kingdom. He wanted my wife. He wanted my family. He wanted this power. So the misunderstanding kept on going in his head. The disinformation kept on pounding in Vali's head, and the anger and the betrayal was cutting even deeper and deeper in Vali. And Sugriva also felt betrayed by Vali. He said, I was doing all of this. I was protecting the kingdom. I was protecting his family. I saved us from that Rakshasa. And he did not even think to communicate this with me. He just came and started pounding on me. So, Vali felt betrayed and Sugriva felt betrayed. So, that's how betrayal happened in our life. So, something will happen and we won't think, you know, let's communicate with this person. Let's talk with this person. Let's ask the question. So what we're going to do, we're going to assume. And then we're going to keep thinking all the negative things that we like to think about someone. So we're going to label them. We're going to be judging them. We're going to think all the things we want to think about them because that's their nature. We already put them in this category. Like in our mind, we know. So if a person is meditating, if a person is worshiping, if a person is a bhakti yoga, if a person is a kriya yoga, if a person is if the person is a holy guy, you know, we put them in this box. We say, oh, I can't believe that, you know, you were going to ashram. Why do you have to behave like this? But in life, there's two words. There is weakness and there is wickedness. So basically, weakness is our impurities, like our kam, krodh, anger, our jealousy. That's our weakness, right? But our consciousness, so the consciousness, let me say, like our samskara, our dharma, our understanding, we have all these understanding in our consciousness. We know what's right, we know what's wrong. So, weakness is that we have these impurities, qualities that come alive sometimes. But our consciousness is there to help us to get back on track. Like we know, oh, we're doing this thing is wrong. We shouldn't do that thing. And then we stop because our weakness was not overpowered by the consciousness. The consciousness overpowered the weakness. So we know. So we then, you know, then we will stop the kind of behavior and things like that. And then there is wickedness. Wickedness is when the weakness overpowers the consciousness. So basically what that means is we have no consciousness. We hurt somebody, we don't think, we don't feel it in our man buddhi. We don't feel it. You know, like sometimes somebody will say something and you're hurt. And they won't look back, like, oh, I've said this to this person, maybe it's not true, or maybe let's fix it. But the wickedness feeling is without consciousness. So you don't feel hurt, you don't feel anything. It's almost like it's your samskara. Like, oh, I'm fine. Like, you know, So that was the difference between Vali and Sugriv. One started going into this negative trait, into this, putting Sugriv in the box category. Oh, he should, he should be this way, he should have come and search for me, he should have done this, and all these things. But Vali did not take the time to ask Sugriv, why did you run? Why did you go? What happened? There was no communication. Oftentimes, we gossip about other people rather than sit and talk to them. There's no conversation that happens in a daily life, within families, within friends, within people. There is just misunderstanding and disinformation, and it keeps going. So now, let's look at the Ravan and Vibhishana. Many times you will hear in some katha or some families, you will hear that family should be loyal to family. That, hey, you're my brother, there should be some loyalty there. But oftentimes, you don't see that. Now in the Ramayana, Vibhishan and Ravan. Vibhishan, in Ravan's opinion, has betrayed Ravan. And Vibhishan, in his opinion, Ravan has betrayed him. There is two categories here. One should be faithful to one's brother, and one should be loyal to one's brother. So, if we continue to look at this relationship, was Vibhishan really disloyal to his brother? No, because Vibhishan felt betrayed by Ravana, and Ravana also felt betrayed by Vibhishan. And why is that? Because Vibhishan was trying to protect his clan, his kingdom, his people. He said, I am the Rakshasa clan. My brother is going down the wrong track. I should bring him back on the right track. But Ravan refused to listen to any kind of truth, any kind of anything that will help his consciousness. So Ravana was wicked. His consciousness was overtaken by wickedness. So so that's how Vibhishana felt betrayed by Ravana. And how did Ravana felt betrayed by Vibhishana? Vibhishana helped Ram win the battle in the Ramayana. Of course, we all know this. This is in the Ramayana, it's our scripture. You go to a yajna, everybody talks about this. So we all know how Ram won the war, Vibhishana helped, all these things we know. But in the Ramayana, also then looking at the context on the katha, the chaupai, the doha, it's also giving in the context of life and relationship. How one feels betrayal, how one, Mandara conspiracy led to the disinformation that Kaikeyi demanded her bridesmaid boon, how Vali and Sugriv, misinformation, they did not communicate with each other. So that led to all these destruction. And we see it in our family lives. We see it here. Something happened, and we listen to strangers. There is discord in the family. There is loyalty has been broken in the family. Trust has been broken in the family. But rather than the parents and the kids or the mother and the father sitting and speaking with family members, what they do is of life. Our entire life, from childhood, we are born from infant. We have a parents, that's a relationship. We have siblings, that's a relationship. We have aunts and uncles, that's a relationship. And now the relationship will take us through life. How we want to conduct ourselves, how we want to examine ourselves, how we want to live our life. And this is sometimes where we don't focus on the relationship aspect in the Ramayana. Okay, we say, Kaikeyi was wrong. Mandara was wrong. But even though they were wrong, they were not punished. Because in the Ramayana itself, when Ram won the war and all the gods appeared and King Dasaratha appeared, Ram asked his father, he said, Pitashri, you need to forgive my mother Kaikeyi. So, Kaikeyi wasn't punished, Mandara wasn't punished, but in life we want to punish people. If they say something we don't agree with, we want to punish them instantly. We want to show them that they are wrong, and if we can get our way, we'll publicly insult them. And it's fine, we got our way, we publicly insulted them, everything is fine, you know? But that's the weakness and the wickedness. You're spiritual, then you have to show that you're spiritual. If you have weakness, you will be forgiven. If you have wickedness, then God will decide what will happen to you. That's not for human level. So, as I'm coming to an end, so we heard Kaikeyi, Dasaratha betrayal, Bali and Sugriva betrayal, and of course, Ravan and Vibhishan betrayal. And how everything happened is, do we react with our impulsiveness, acting without consideration, our thought, our emotions are so hurt, we're so sensitive in life, you know, that's impulsive behavior. We react to everything. We judge people instantly. Then the other one is fear. We see in these three categories, we see that Sugriva had fear. So rather than standing up for his action, why he did certain things, what influences his decision, we saw that Sugriva fled. He fled because he had fear. He had no willpower to stand up to his brother. Okay, your brother is pounding you. Show some willpower, fight back, and stand up and say that, you know, what influenced your decision, what you heard, what happened. And I understand in life, people don't give us that opportunity. They shut us out. You know, because they already put you in this category. You're in this box. That's it. Your nature is this, your nature is nasty, you're an angry person. You know, you don't have any, because a stranger has come in between now. A stranger has come in between. So your best of best, the person, that person was good all the time. But because a stranger has come in between now, you want to show that, you know, I'm going to listen to these people because I have to prove to them that I am a certain person. So Sugriva did not stand up for himself because Bali was pounding him. He had fear and he fled. He fled until we know Hanuman came, and then Ram, you know, helped him and made peace between Bali and Sugriva. When Bali would give the necklace that his father had given him to Sugriva, they made peace, and he crowned him rightfully the king again. So we saw the peace was made, the reconciliation was made. Now, indecision. Dasaratha, he was indecisive. He wanted to stand by his words. So what happened is that his words led the whole struggle, this whole disinformation, because he would not sit with Kaikeyi and ask her. You know, there was right away everybody feels hurt. Right away in life, we feel hurt and we feel sad and you know, we are hurt because we're so sensitive, we're so petty. If there is an English word, it's called petty. You're petty. You don't want your emotions to be hurt. So rather than just looking through the situation, you get instantly upset, angry, and you instantly react. And because you have reacted, there is another action. And because of that action, there is another consequence. So that's the indecisiveness of Dasaratha. And we also see that Kaikeyi was lack of self-control because her consciousness was taken over by Mandara. Now what had happened was that Mandara had became the lawyer and the judge and the plaintiff and the defendant. And Kaikeyi was just listening to her. So these things in life, we need to put a better decision on, a better, we need to think about situation. We need to not put people in our categories, the way we judge people and what we do and how we think about it. You know, these weaknesses are aspects of human nature, and it can affect our judgment. It blinds us. We go dark, and you know, it's our weakness our consciousness was taken over by weakness, and we feel hurt, and we feel deeply betrayed by life and by situation that comes our way. So the Ramayana, we all know that it's a treasure, it's wisdom, and it continues to help humanity. But now, you know, we need to look at it from a perspective of life and relationship. Not just on the perspective, oh, Ram is here, he's giving an explanation, he's helping people, you know, he was talking to us. No, Ram was there in Satyu. We have the text and the scripture now to help us with our weaknesses, our wickedness, our maliceness, our betrayal, the way we feel hurt, and also help us with the positive things. Help us think positively. You know, help us accept situation. A lot of times we don't want to accept our situation. Had Vali accepted Sugriva, what he had done, then they would have still been the best of family, the best of brothers. Had Kaikeyi accepted Dasarata's decision, Ram would have been king and the family would have been there. They would have not had all these problems and issues in the Ramayana that we see today in our life. So in life, we also have to be in acceptance of everything that is happening to us and with us. We have to accept the fact if somebody wants to move on with their life, if somebody wants to go back to school, if somebody wants to, you know, whatever somebody wants to do and they're part of your life, you have to be in acceptance of it. You can't wait for people to live accordingly to how you want them to live. So I think that was my satsang. I'm going to be publishing a textbook, and it's going to be called the Ramayana, narrating the life and relationship journey. So I'm working on that, and just want to say namaskar and thank you, and I hope you enjoy this program. And if you do reach out to me. My name is Meenakshi. I'm on social media. I'm on YouTube as well, and you can check out my bio in this link. So, namaskar.
அருள்மழை தரும் கருமுகிலென வரம் தரும் ஒரு சிவமயிலென நின்றாயே மீனாட்சி தாயம்மா. யுக யுகம் பெறும் ஒரு சுகமென ஜகம் முழுவதும் தலம் உனக்கென கொண்டா